Welcome back to Native Honor Hours. My name is Ed Zendejas.
I'm Cindy Krafka.
You know, I think I want to start off with Indian of the Week.
Do it.
Me.
Oh, you're Indian of every week.
You know
for
why?
You.
You know why I say that?
Why do you say that?
Because I've survived, what's this, our 9th show with you?
We both know.
Anybody that can handle 9 shows with you, I think, deserves Indian of the Year, maybe
Well, what
decade.
you don't know is when we come back, they've invited just me.
That's fine. No, go ahead. Let's see if
Oh,
we can
you
do
would
this.
pout? Oh my God, if I did the show without you, you would have the big one.
Now, do you have any Indians of the Week?
I have no Indians of the week.
I have to share this with you. This is our 9th show, and I think we're going to take a break after this.
Yes, we are.
We're going to take a little break. She needs, her brain just, can only do so much.
I can only be around you for so long before I just can't do it.
Likewise. So we need to take a break, and we're going to take one. But I have to say, when we first started this, I didn't think we'd get anybody to watch, but maybe our families, ourselves, that kind of thing. But I had someone approach me at one of the restaurants and saying, "Hey, I watched your show," and I was stunned that actually someone would actually watch this. So we thank you for. And why? Why are you watching this? Isn't there something better to do?
Hey, we're educational.
No, we're not. We're not educational.
We educate. We're educated.
No, we just ramble on, and at the end of the show, we say, "See you later."
You know what we are? We're Indians on TV. That's pretty unusual. That alone should get people to tune in.
Well,
What other TV show do you think has 2 natives running it? We're unique.
We don't run this.
Well, we're on
We're
it.
just on the show. There's people back there
Hey,
that run
I know
this.
how to turn the microphones off and on. Do you?
I don't even know how to do that. I'll
See,
admit
I'm
to
learning.
that. I don't.
I'm learning.
I can't turn the microphone. I can't figure that out. They just do it for me now. They enable me is what they do.
He's helpless. We can't help it. He's helpless. It's either that or watch him for 15 minutes until he finally calls Kenny
And then
out
here,
to do
fix
it.
this, turn it on. But we've made it through an entire season, and
We'll be taking a small break.
Small break. We're coming back in the summer?
Yes, we are, which is perfect. Well, how can we do it during the dead of winter when it's dark at 5? Let's do it during the summer and take like December and January off when I hate to leave the house after dark.
Well, see, but then we can do stuff outside, and we'll be thinking, why are we here? It's nice outside. We should.
We're not. It's not like we're here 12 hours. Realistically, you run in, do 30 minutes, and you're
you
done.
don't realize how much prep work is done to get this show put on the air.
5 minutes if you would ever be on time.
5 minutes. No, yeah, but we'll be back in the summer, and we'll maybe have some other summer things to talk about.
Yes, you know what we'll have to talk about? It's the opening of the Powwow season. Denver March kicked it off.
Yeah, well, you can start off. I'm actually surprised. You know why we're taking a break here, because she went out to Colorado, and she has to go back for court in about 90 days. And
He says that all the time.
She's going to take care of her affairs, make sure everything's in
I'm
order.
waiting. This show will air, and I'll get a call at work from my bosses. Can we see you?
Going to call her in and have her do a drug test. No, you did burn some sage though, didn't you?
Denver March Powwow was amazing, but I will tell you, I went with the elders, and it's difficult to be in a building that doesn't have ramps or elevators.
First, I want to hear about the road trip. How many stops did you
About
make?
15. Got to stop for pills, got to stop to go to the bathroom, just got to stop. Got to be a lot of stops.
If you were riding with me, you know how many stops we'd make to Denver?
Oh, no. When Laurel Miller tells you
no,
pull
I said
over.
with me.
How many?
1.
Does he limit,
We would
Monica,
make,
does
we would
he
make
limit
one
liquids?
Stop in,
Oh, your wife limits liquids?
Yeah, she did all the time.
We all had jugs of coffee
With our
about that big.
kids.
We all had jugs of coffee about that big when we took off, because it was at 8 in the morning, and when I told them 8, I'll pick you up at 8, they both looked like they'd been hit in the face with a hammer. 8? What are you talking about? Let's leave at noon.
You know what she used to do?
What?
We used to get in our big van. We make a road trip, and she'd break out 1 bottle of pop, and she'd open it up, and all the 8 kids could take 1, maybe 2 drinks. But some of our kids, I think 2 of them sort of wouldn't do that. They wouldn't. To this day, they don't share anything. If you take a drink of their pop or their cup, whatever.
Well, that's
it's
because the
done.
little ones always backwash.
Well,
Huh,
that's maybe
Sarah?
true.
It's
but
backwash.
But they, they don't do that. But you guys had to stop, what, 15 times?
At least on the way home. On the way there, we were pretty good because everybody was excited. And there's a long stretch of road where there's no bathroom. Right when you go into Colorado, there's a long stretch of road where there's no bathroom. We were getting kind of panicky.
And there really wasn't any place to go because as you
No.
get into that stretch of Colorado, it's just wide open.
You'd have to walk 10 miles
You can't
out.
even find a tree.
No,
in that
no.
section of road.
No. How come, is that desert?
Not desert.
What is it? How come no
It's
trees
just,
there?
It's just prairie.
There's just, I mean, there's no trees.
That's where Gretchen's ancestors used to hang out.
There's just no trees. There's just nothing. It's just nothing.
Which, by the way, Gretchen reported that Lady G.
Yes, Lady G's eye surgery went well. She's resuming normal activity Monday.
We'll see her back on Monday. Great to hear that.
We'll have to have her on the show again.
So tell me more about what happened in Denver. You went to the
We
powwow?
I am, number one, glad I have nothing to do with anything on putting in that powwow because it was huge. It was huge. The regalia, and if we're talking about powwow, we might as well start educating. They are not costumes, Ed. What are they?
No, it's regalia.
Those, when you put on a costume, you become somebody else. When you put on regalia, you become who you are.
I
And
get
the
that. I get that
regalia-
from students that would ask me. They would say, "Is it okay to take pictures when they're in their costumes?" I said, "No, you don't want to call them their costumes. You want to call them their regalia. And what you need to do is you need to ask them. Just don't go up and take a picture. You have to ask them. It's courtesy." I said, "Most of them will. Most of them will be, very accommodating, and they'll take a picture with you." I said, "But just don't go up and take a picture." You remember we had
Josh Leroy.
we had one of our young men that danced at the UNO powwow, and I was at a art studio. I don't know what I was there for, but I looked up on. I know, me at an art studio, but I was there for some reason. But I looked up and I saw they had these pictures of native dancers, and I looked and that was one of our kids, and they were selling it for over $300.
Yep.
And were they going to give him
No.
any of that?
Did they even tell him they were
No,
photoing
they didn't
him?
even
Did
tell
they
him
even
that.
ask?
So that's just wrong.
Well, the thing is, taking pictures is good when it's your family, it's something like that. If you're taking pictures for yourself, it's fine. If you're taking pictures to use them elsewhere, I would think you would have to have permission from the person who's dancing. I did an oral history with Fred Leroy. We had to have IRBs, we had to have paperwork.
What's
We had to,
IRBs?
I don't even remember what it
See,
was.
she didn't even know what that is. She's
But we had to sign paperwork saying that everything that we did was his. You
I think it
can't
stands
just
for
take
Indian
that.
Research Bureau.
No, it's going to come to me. I can't remember, but you shouldn't be
Her
able.
brain's going to explode trying to figure that
You
out.
shouldn't be able to make money off us. Like they have every time you go into a museum and you see an Indian in one of their
All right,
fake
so
costumes.
that's one of the rules.
Yep.
Don't take pictures unless you get permission, and it's
because some of that regalia costs in the thousands
it
and
costs, but
thousands
also
of
has
dollars.
significance to the individual.
You should have seen some of the regalia there. Gold jingle dress. I've never in my life seen gold jingles. I can't even imagine where that comes from or how that would cost. They had every color under the rainbow. Some of the grandmothers were like, well, we like it more traditional. I like the color. They had iridescent shawls. It was amazing. We watched the jingle dress. We watched a lot of the women's contest because we were there on Saturday. We didn't go back on Sunday.
I'm a bit partial to the more natural feather. I mean, it's fine. The
Old man?
the color. Yeah, I am. And I actually enjoy the men's traditional dancing and the women's traditional dancing, and that's more of storytelling and.
Watching those girls dance, I think what a lot of people don't realize is there's a lot of things that goes into these dancing. For instance, when those girls dance, they never hit their heels down. Everything they do is on their toes. In fact, during the dinner break, they had a native girl that lives in Colorado worked with the Denver Ballet. And they had ballet dancers out doing a dance with her to Indian music. It was beautiful. It just shows how
It doesn't sound very traditional to me.
it was not, but it was beautiful. It shows how we can mix things in, how we don't, we are, this is 2019.
I see a lot of the young guys are mixing in the hip hop kind of stuff. And
I think, now see, I think that's cool. Have you seen them dance to the hip hop? Oh, I think that's cool.
you know,
I saw that
that's fine for
Superman.
them, but I like
You're
them.
old. You're getting old.
I'm getting old. I have to admit it.
Monica, you gotta catch him up, girl. You gotta catch him up with the 2018.
Just hearing you say that makes me sound really old. But
I
you
work
know
with
what?
the
You're
kids.
older
That
than me,
helps.
though.
I am.
Anyway, so what else did you guys do?
We ate at Takave. Oh my God, that was so good. Of course, you know the only pictures we took is when we were leaving and when we were eating.
Was that at the powwow? Did you go
No,
out
we
there?
went to the
Let's
restaurant.
stick to what happens at the powwow.
Well, it's a powwow. I mean, there's
Well,
dancing.
there
there's,
may be a handful of viewers that we have, and maybe people that are kind of scared. Don't know what happens there.
Well, there's grand entry,
What's
and
grand entry?
everybody dances in who's dancing. And in Denver, it fills the entire stadium floor.
Who brings
I was
it?
glad,
Who brings in
and
the
you know
flag?
what?
Where's that at?
Veterans.
And then there's usually an Eagle staff that
Goes out
leads in
first.
the dancers, and then the flags, the tribal flags, U.S. flag, veterans are coming out, and then you have the princesses, the
Yep.
royalties. I'm not.
Then
I
the
have to
men,
admit,
then the women.
I'm not a big fan of royalty.
We don't have royalty at our powwow.
We don't.
We did once. We're never doing it again.
Yeah, we don't. I'm not a big fan.
Well, you know what I found out, and it may have even been you who told me, but the princess started with the Wild West show,
They
Buffalo
did.
Bill's
They
Wild
did.
West
It's
show.
not a traditional, powwow thing. It evolved from, and it reminds me of too much of the Cherokee princess. I think it perpetuates.
But a lot of people
the-
love
the
it.
narrative.
And you know, who are we to say? Before we get calls from the audience, if you like the princess contest, we're all good with that.
There may be those in the audience.
They have
whose
them at Metro.
daughters are.
Did they used to have them at Creighton's?
I think they did, but we don't have them at the UNO powwow.
We're tradish.
No, we're not. We're an intertribal.
Ours is ready.
team.
We're ready to roll. We got 4 drums. We got MCs. We got arena directors.
We do.
I sat and had about an hour-and-a-half conversation with one of our drums today. They love
Are
us.
they ready to go?
Yes.
What did they say about us?
They love our powwow because we're well run.
What do they
We're a
mean by that?
well-run powwow. People get paid on time, number 1. People get paid on time. That's always good. 2, they know when they say we follow our agenda, which, by the way, is already done for this powwow too. I'm prepared. I'm ready
and
for
who
powwow.
do we have to thank for that? Staying on time.
James Mincy,
No,
our arena director. We have a great arena.
We do, but
The only reason you're good at the end is because you get tired. I can tell when you start tiring out on the mic.
I have to admit, it wears you down.
But it's a 1 to 6.
That's my primary goal as the MC, is to make sure we stick to the time frame and that we end on time.
Yeah.
I may not tell many jokes, but I keep us moving. And
You
that's
do
it.
too. You're semi-funny. The MC has to be funny. You have to keep the people's attention. Because I think we both know Gary's no comedian.
Gary gets into
Your
it.
co-host.
Well, Gary,
Your
a lot of times-
co-MC.
A lot of times people are coming up to Gary and they buy his little CD or whatever it is, and he's signing autographs and he's taking pictures and I'm sitting here emceeing and he's over here taking, but he comes through. He brings people in the doors and he's a good trooper for us.
People expect it. People just expect.
Do they expect him now?
Yes. Gary seems to have somehow morphed into one of ours. We were driving up and Laura says, "Yep, it's going to be Ed and Gary again, right?" I said, "Yeah."
Who told you that?
Laura. Just like they expected. UNO powwow, Ed and Gary.
I was looking at his Wikipedia page. Mm-hmm. I don't know if maybe someone from UNO did this, maybe one of the students, but it said, if you look it up, it says, he's emceeing at the University of Nebraska. He's developed a relationship with University. And I'm thinking, did one of the students do that? Did you do that, Sarah? Anybody?
It had to have been
Did you look
Kenny.
at it? Did you see it? You need to look up
You mean you
his
could just go on
page.
Wikipedia and write anything?
Pretty much. You have to
What?
document it. But anyway, I saw that thinking, yeah, Gary's one of us now.
Well, you know what? You got to have good MCs. You've got to have a good arena director. You've got to have good drums. Good drums is key, because if they don't play and pass, you're in trouble.
The arena director is the one who sort of keeps everybody organized, and you're right, it is a big help to have an arena director that comes up to you and says, all right, this drum's coming up next, or we're going to have this dance, and that makes it a lot easier for me, because I'm not, as you know, I'm not the most experienced MC.
Well, we didn't figure out till last year to write down the names of the drums.
No, we did that a couple years ago.
We figured that out, but before that, you were flying blind.
Yeah, pretty much.
At Denver March, they had about 90 drums. They were lined up all the way around. They were lined up in back, and each drum played one song. They were from all over, too.
Why would you do that?
Because, I mean, it's Denver March. It's the best of the best. The women that were dancing there, wow, is all I have to say. Wow. It's an amazing thing to see a huge powwow like that. I kind of like our little one better, because for ours is a social. Ours is a powwow/social. People get to see each other that haven't seen each other after a long winter. It's kind of the announcement of spring. Everybody comes to UNO. We just have a good time.
Let me ask you this. Have we sort of become a destination, or a powwow that's put on the calendar that people make it their destination?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
So what was the drum group telling you about our powwow?
That he loved it, that everybody played the same, that you got in on time, that you got out of time, that we were nice to everybody. We just take care of our people. But I don't know how, we're natives. That's how we're supposed to do.
You know what? It wasn't always that way. We didn't know what we were doing. And we still get accused of not knowing what we're doing. And that's fine.
We don't care.
We don't care, and whatever, we're still working. We're pretty fortunate.
What people forget is UNO is intertribal. We have kids from every tribe. So we're not going to do our powwow with just one tribe's rules. That's contrary to who we are. We're intertribal. So, and there's so many different ways of doing powwow for everybody. We've just kind of figured out this will be our 8th powwow. We've just kind of figured out what works for UNO.
And you know what else people, I don't think, really appreciate? Because they expect this just to happen, or powwows to happen. It takes a lot of money.
And yeah.
And we've been able to, I don't know how, over
Beg.
the past
I'm getting good at
8
begging.
years, we've been able to generate the revenue to pull this off. Granted, we weren't able to continue feeding people at a break, but that was.
But we're
way
lucky
too
to
expensive.
still be having a powwow. If you look at what's going on in a lot of the universities, stuff's getting cut out like that.
And another thing is that we don't charge.
No.
We don't charge people to come.
No
in.
one would come. All they would do is go on Facebook and talk bad about us if we charged.
You know what? They're charging us to get in. That's not a crappy little powwow. Yeah.
Yep.
That's what would happen.
Yeah, we just open that big garage door and people come in.
Just
The most
come on
important
in.
thing, the little things that you don't think about that you learn. If I don't have coffee there in the morning for the vendors, you might as well just rip off my skin and hand it to me. I learned that the first year. Violet Gladfelter charged me, "Where's the coffee?" I said, "Pardon me?" She said, "Where's the coffee? What kind of powwow are you throwing without even having coffee?" The next year, there was coffee.
Oh.
It's the little things. There's a million tiny things that go into powwow that make it work. Although this year, I'm kind of concerned. The popcorn machine's down.
Ooh.
What are we going to do, Ed?
I don't know.
We got to have that pop. You think Monica will pop it at home and keep bringing it?
No.
Sarah might.
What about
Sarah,
the
would you do
contests
it?
over at Denver March? Were there?
They were long. The contests were long. They play about 4 songs. Well, because there's so many people in the contest. They even break them up into A, B, C, D, and then you do a couple songs with this, and then they come together. They are long. They are really long.
Well, at our powwow, our contests are dependent upon how much popcorn we sell. So we have to get the popcorn machine fixed. Because what we're doing is we're usually grabbing cash and saying, all right, men's traditional,
No, we plan.
$200 take all.
Well, we plan for 6 contests.
Are
And we
we?
have,
Did you budget that in there?
yeah.
Oh, good for you.
Always do. But you always throw an extra one in.
Potato dance, we ought to have.
Oh,
we gotta have a
potato dance is scheduled in. Hey, I got this down. This is one, probably not a skill that's going to really translate into any other kind of work, but you and I can throw a powwow. And you're the one who's always kind of calm about powwow, because I start to get nervous. The closer powwow gets, but now that you're MC, you see why. Because it's you that, what are you doing? Why didn't you do this? Where's this?
Well, it still doesn't bother me. Like I said, I've had people come up and say, when are you going to get a real MC? I don't care. I've told you that.
You know, we can throw people out of the powwow.
No, I don't care. Only people we throw out are the ones that are drinking. We can't tolerate that.
Luckily, the police, we of course have to have police, at least 4 or 5.
And we have to say this too, that the university does not allow outside food to come in. So all you people that are selling your meat pies and your fry bread, do it at your own peril. But if you get caught, you're going to be removed.
Yeah, and don't come to me or Ed. We know nothing.
But it's also going to jeopardize the students, because as a student organization, you have to follow the rules. And if you're not following the rules, you get called in on it. So we try to protect our students for this. We're not trying to keep you from making money or doing all that. I'm the first one to say, if you want to make something and sell it, go ahead. But you can't do it at UNO, at the powwow, because it's going to affect our students.
Well, and another thing you have to think about when you're putting on powwow is how many vendors you have. Because we have vendors who have been loyal to us through when nobody came to our powwows, when they complained. The first 2, I limit the number of vendors and the number of kinds of vendors, because then nobody makes any money. If you got too many vendors, nobody makes any money.
Do our vendors make money?
Our vendors make a lot of money.
That's good. That's
a
good
lot of money. We've got great ones. We've got ones that we've had. Mr. Goomba, the Goombas always show up with a beautiful silver. Donnell, Wanda, the art, the beadwork. Rebecca. We have the same people that we have a loyal little following, at least as long as we're here. When we're gone, who knows what they'll do?
Who knows? We'll see.
We probably won't go.
We'll see what happens. All right, well, so our powwow is April 14th. You had a great time at Denver March.
Yes, I did.
And it was a good experience. I was thinking about going, but then again, I didn't want to get arrested on your coattail, so we decided not to go.
Oh, you'd have been with the oldies, and you have to go to bed about 10. Oh, my God.
Oh, I could do that.
Yeah.
But April 14th at the SAP Field House at UNO, the campus of UNO, starts at 1. It will start at 1. That's part of my responsibility, is make sure it starts on time and that we end on time. So if you're gonna come, make sure you come within that
Well,
time
if
frame.
you want to be paid for dancing, 12:30 is the cutoff.
12:30 is a cutoff. If you want to get any kind of pay for
Day
dancing, day pay, then
which I'm sure people don't know about either. We could do a three series show on powwow.
yeah. And then the drum groups, we're doing 4 invited and 4?
3 uninvited.
3 uninvited. So we're
First 3. First 3.
What else do they need to know about the SAP? Make sure parking, we talked about
You
this
can park
before.
in the garages, in the garage, east garage parking. It's a college campus. It's a Saturday. You park where you can park.
And this really is our signature event for the year, and we've actually got awards for doing this.
I know.
So this is
We've survived. That's
We
what's more
have.
important.
But come and join us, and you'll have a good time, we think. And if you want to, meet Gary Farmer, come on up and see him. He'll be happy to give you an autograph.
Well, maybe
sign
not happy,
something.
but he'll do it.
All right, let's close with a knucklehead of
You
of the
do
week.
it.
I'm nominating. We're done with Sherman Alexie. He's done being knucklehead of the week. I'm going to nominate Ryan Zinke. You know who Ryan Zinke is?
I do, since you educated me.
He is the Secretary of Interior. And what's important about the Secretary of Interior?
He's in charge of the Indian Affairs.
In charge of the Bureau of Indian Affairs that comes under that department. Anyway, it's purported that he said to some of his higher ups that diversity is not that important anymore. This coming from the leader of the Bureau of Indian Affairs. So that sounds pretty knuckleheaded to me, doesn't it?
You know, it's becoming the new normal. But yeah, I agree with you, knucklehead, but it's becoming the new normal. I'm no longer surprised by anything any of those fools say.
Of course, later on, as people denied that, it happened and that kind of stuff, but they don't even have the head of the Bureau of Indian Affairs position filled. It's been, a year and a half?
Our new president just does not like Indians. When the first sitting act you do is okay the Trans-Canada, you're sending out a little message to the
No, that was
natives.
Dakota Access Pipeline.
Dakota Access, I mean.
But Ryan Zinke, you are our knucklehead. You think someone will tell him that and he'll be all offended?
Let's write him letters.
Okay. Well, Ryan Zinke, knucklehead.
Why don't you run for that? Why don't you try for that position?
We believe that diversity does matter, especially if you're the head or over the Bureau of Indian Affairs. You might want to check that out.
It might be nice to know a little something.
Yeah. Well, it's been fun, and like I said, we appreciate all of our listeners, and if you're a loyal viewer, we appreciate that. We'll be back in, how many weeks?
3-4 weeks?
I thought we were taking longer, like 5 or 6 weeks.
No, I think it's 4.
That's hardly even a break. I want more break than that.
Poor little Eddie.
I know.
Actually, you know what? You'll do what we tell you and like it.
Yeah, well, you will. Well, we'll see you whenever we see you. But in the meantime, I'm sure the repeats will run, and it was a great first season, and we hope you enjoy whatever we do. We don't even know what we do, but whatever it is, we hope you enjoy it. And we will see you back in
Mayish.
Whenever.
Mayish, June-ish.
Mayish, whatever. But once again, we'll see you. Been a great season, and we'll see you when we come back.
Have a good summer.